Hi, my name is Brandon Branham, and today I'm going to talk to you about the need for offshore drilling. According to the U.S. government's Energy Information Administration, America consumes 400 million gallons of gasoline a day. America is by far the leading consumer of oil in the world. We cannot be shocked by the continued rise of oil prices with this rate of consumption. I don't think we're all aware how far oil really goes into our daily lives. Take, for instance, the spatula you use to flip your hamburger. It's partially made of oil. That's just a small example. Of course, the larger ones are the cars we drive every day to work or the bus that we catch. They use oil not only to be made, but also by using gasoline and oil in the motor. Without oil, our lives would be drastically different. There is a huge need for exploration of possible oil discovery. Offshore drilling could allow us to be less dependent on foreign countries for our oil supply. Currently, 70% of the world's known oil reserves lie in Saudi Arabia. How dependent does this make us on foreign countries for a viable good? There's no greater importance than now with the country's rapid growth rate and increased use of cars, planes, and boats. With expanded search for oil in the ocean, we can begin to fill this gap. I cannot sit here and talk about offshore drilling without speaking of the tragic incidents that we have seen in our lifetime. First, the ExxonMobil spill in Alaska, and then most recently the BP oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. I believe these tragic events have placed a fear in all of us of what an oil spill can do to our environment and our economy. It has put thousands of people out of jobs with nothing to do, and it has affected our food supply, which we greatly depend on. However, these oil rig explosions were preventable and could be preventable. I believe with the proper government intervention and stricter laws maintaining oil rig equipment, we could protect any future explosions from happening. These are all things we must consider when taking the risk of offshore drilling. There are also other options that we can discuss. We can discuss reducing our consumption of oil, but how hard could that be? And also the thing we see in the media all day long is the growing green factor. But how affordable really is going green? Of course, we can change some light bulbs and reduce the amount of water, but the big thing is the car that we drive every day. And according to some research, the current price of a hybrid vehicle ranges from $19,000 to $25,000. Not a lot of us can go out and buy a car at that price. Of course, there's public transportation. A lot of us here live in Atlanta and know what the public transportation here is like. So, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, the average commute is 24 minutes. Add public transportation into that, we know we got to add about another 30 to 40 minutes. This takes away from the time that we can spend with our friends and family, which we all love and desperately need. So we must consider what sacrifices we are willing to make. It currently takes 6 years from when oil is first discovered to when it is put into production and distributed for use. So with this long time period, it is essential we support those who are fighting for the expansion of offshore drilling. We've already consumed 40% of the world's known oil reserves. It is impossible to think that we can continue to consume this amount and not seek alternative oil sources. If we do not increase the search for oil reserves, it's a good chance that in 30 to 50 years there will be a severe shortage and we will not be able to afford the price of gasoline, let alone a vehicle. And this will cause transportation to suffer greatly, and in turn will cause a serious effect on the global market because we are very dependent on the transportation of goods between countries. So if we continue to choose this rate of oil consumption, we must be open to new exploration of finding oil. Statistics show that we must choose to alter our consumption or take the possible risks of offshore drilling. So you ask, what can you do? You can find your senator or your state government that is voting for offshore drilling and stand behind them and sign any petitions that they have. Thank you.